What is up, everyone? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel today. I'm super excited getting back into the DJ world a little bit with an older controller, but I think it's still good for 2024, and I wanted to definitely get to that today. So it's the Traktor controller S4 Mk3. I think it's a great controller. It still stands up today. In 2024, it's 5-6 years old now, but I still think it stands up with some of the technology and some of the features that it still has. I know Traktor just came out with Traktor Pro 4, but this will work with Traktor Pro 4 and still will work with Traktor Pro 3. So we're still good there. So you're pretty much covered when it comes to the SK or the S4 Mk3. So we're going to talk about it today. It's not going to be a full review, but I definitely want to show some things that I don't see in other videos, which is what I love to do, is bring you that cool information that maybe you don't see elsewhere. So stay tuned for that. Couple features, a couple things that people ask, a couple videos I didn't see out there, and cover those types of things. It'll be a general overview, but not a full review per se. I just want to give you some reasons why I still think it's good in 2024, but still give you some information about the Traktor Kontrol S4 Mk3, just in case you're interested in the market for it, because you can definitely find it a little bit cheaper as well. Retails for about $1,000, and there is some other controllers out there in that bracket that would meet this, but not too many that you can get with some of the features this has. So definitely going to get into it today. We're going to start with the boring stuff at first, what's in the box and what you will get with this, just from verbiage, just from telling it out there. And so we're going to jump right in really quick. Just want to say thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. You never tuned in, just know that I love to give you that information as easy as possible. Do all that research for you so you don't have to, and then leave some links in case you're interested in some of the products that we talk about. So thank you. Let's get into the video. Jump right in. So because I got a lot of stuff I want to get in today. And so Traktor S4 Mk3, $1,000, 4.6 stars on Amazon. You can find it for used for about $700. If you go to Guitar City or eBay, those types of things, you're going to find it for around that price. But for the 200 extra bucks for not buying it used, I might just buy a brand new one at $1,000. I still think that's a really good price, especially with the controller prices out there right now. There is some decent controllers around that price, but yeah, like I said, if you use Traktor and you're still using S5 or things like that, which I was using, I think this is definitely kind of an upgrade, because it does have some things that you can use, similar to the S5. So it is a 4-channel mixer. It is capable with, Mac, Windows 10, Windows 11, all those types of things. Supports DVS as well, so you can use DVS with this. 2 mic inputs, 2 USB ports. Weighs about 9 pounds, so it is a little bit on the heavier side if you need to lug it around, but still very capable. If you get a nice little case with a handle, yeah, you can take it around with you. We'll talk about the inputs in just a second, because I want to talk about that when you're talking about pro or intermediate equipment. I still think this is definitely pro equipment in my opinion, because of the inputs and hookups for that. It did come out with a new processing on it for DAC and those types of things, and it's 24-bit 96 kilohertz, which definitely is going to improve your audio sound. So definitely a killer there that they upgraded that, because in my opinion, like the S5 and some of the older controllers, maybe it was just me, but they didn't always sound fantastic in my opinion. I don't know. I had some other controllers that sounded better, that were cheaper and those types of things. But really this one sounds really good, and I really do like the DAC that's in it now. So the biggest things that came out with this controller, of course, was when everybody else was coming out with it, so was Traktor, and they have moving motorized platters. But I do like the way the platters work on this one, because it's almost magnetic, and so it's kind of different. It's a little bit of different feel, but I still really like it because it can be pretty precise, and also I love the way you can adjust the tension as well very easily, and we'll show you that in a little bit. It does have standalone mixer capabilities, which is cool, because when it first came out, it did not offer that. You couldn't just use it as its own, just plug it in and plug some things into it and it would just work. You had to have it hooked up to the software. Well, now it just works by its own, by itself, so you can use it just as a 4-channel mixer, which is pretty cool. And you still have some filter adjustability. You can use it as a full mixer on its own. So if your computer were to go down, you can still use it by hooking up some extra things, and I'll show you that. And that's always an added plus for me because, you know, things happen and I love having a backup plan, and this controller will have you covered if you're thinking about that. So of course, of all the things I'm talking about, pros and negatives and things like that, another pro is definitely the haptic feedback. It does have haptic feedback, which was new for a lot of controllers. I mean, a lot of controllers still don't have that today. And so even though it's a lot of DJs might not use it, it's nice to have there. So when you're setting cue points, you're gonna feel a little tick in the jog wheels, the way they feel, and you're gonna know that's where your cue is, or you know, whatever you're using, your loop is, your cue. It's gonna put little markers on that you're gonna be able to feel through the jog wheel, which is very, very cool. Like I said, professional inputs and outputs in my opinion, but the way they do that is kind of be a negative too. I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the controller here. And so, like I said, it does weigh 9 pounds, so it is on the heavier side in my opinion, but it does have a great build. It does feel like it's made well. There's a lot of stuff going on in this thing, but it's definitely going to take care of business for you. So I do notice this 12-inch skin. I will leave a link for them, but this does have a very, very cool look to it. It looks very good. I got that 12-inch skin on there. Put it on there, very easy to put on, and it covers the whole controller, like you said. And if you like the colors of this, check out 12-inch skins. All right, the inputs on the back, like I said, tons of them. Professional, you do have your outputs here, which have your main output, which was RCA, but you do have XLR, which I think is a professional hookup. You also have booth quarter jack. So, you know, if you only had quarter jack somewhere, you can still do that too, and you'd still be able to get out the music that you need to get out. Now, the rest of them are all RCAs, but you do have your ground loop there, so you can hook up record players or whatever you need to do. And when you do that, though, you just have to make sure that you keep them on channels A and B for the record players. And then your C and D are kind of like your accessory, is what I'd put them on, your auxiliary lines. So you can hook anything you want to them, but just know that it is going to take a microphone. Like if you had a microphone, it is going to either be a line in or a microphone in. So if you have to use a microphone, that's going to take up one of these channels. And so some people don't like the way they do that. They wish they could just switch in between them, which you can switch in between them, but just know that no matter what, you're going to have to switch to get, you know, an extra microphone line or whatever. Because when you plug in, even if you're plugging into the microphone inputs, it's going to take one of your lines up. It's going to take up one of your channels. So that is some kind of a negative. A lot of people don't like that, but it does work, and I'll show you how to get that done, because there's no videos on that. There's no how to switch it from the line to the mic, and I had problems myself, and I had to kind of look it up, and so I'm going to show you that. So also, and then you just have your computer hookup, a AC hookup, which is provided, and then a USB port as well that you can use to plug in accessories or hook it up. You know, there's other controllers out there, the X1, those types of things. You could use those along with this. The remix decks, you can use them along with this. You do have some control with the remix decks through the LCD screens, which you do have right here. And so you can see those also. All right, so like I said, this is not going to be a full review on this. There's so much to go through. It would be forever for me to go through this, but I just wanted to kind of say your basic things. So you'll notice that it is a 4-channel mixer with your A and B's in the center and your C and D on the sides, which is kind of important because some mixers are, you know, set up different. So A and B in the middle, C and D on the sides. Crossfader is very nice in my opinion. Very, very smooth, buttery smooth on the up faders. They're so nice, feel really good. Pads are rubber, so they're not plastic buttons, so they feel pretty good. Plastic buttons on the play and cue buttons, but still very, very nice. LCD screens, like I said, very nice. It's nice to have little added information. Very, very long throw. Tempo faders, which is good for your beat matching and all that kind of stuff. 3-band EQ up here, so you do have low, mids, highs. You do have your filter, Q, can turn the FX on and off. You have some FX, but it's FX through the software only. It's not built into the controller or anything. The only thing that's kind of built into the controller that you will be able to use if you're on that standalone mixer mode is the filter, which is nice. You also have, like I said, your mic inputs or line inputs up here, your gains, your line gains up here as well. And then you also have your FX over here, and it's the same on both sides. You do have library, so you can go through your library tracks with clicking in, which will select the song. You can have some features here with your preview and things like that. And then, of course, you do have your jog wheels, like I said. Nice jog wheels, pretty standard size, but very, very nice. Modes here, which I'll show you with the haptic. Your deck selects here with the B and D and A and C, your shift buttons, which is very important on this controller because it'll shift in between things. You do have hot cues, samples, and stems control, which is very cool. Let's go ahead and plug this in really, really easy. Go ahead and you use your adapter, your wall adapter. We'll plug it in. And there is an on button on the back right here by the adapter, right here where my finger is. And that will turn it on. So we can go and do that. Fires up. See those LCD screens, very nice, very bright. Look good. The jog wheels are, like I said, magnetic, which is very, very cool. And you can see everything's lighting up here because I'm not hooked to any software. So it is saying that I'm in line inputs up here, and there's a little light showing that. And so that's kind of where you're at. But you do have everything on. You can do filters here with the music if I was to plug in some kind of accessory. But it does have, like I said, outputs on this for line D, line C, and like I said, line B and A right here. So booth out, main outs, either RCA or XLR, and the C channel input, which would go with the C right here for hooking up a microphone if you did. You do have a hub input here, so you can hook up another controller if you needed to. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the line in here, and you just plug that in. And I do have it hooked up to the software, so you see it immediately hooked in. I'm going to hook up to some speakers right here, so you can see right here. So I will use the RC outputs here. All right, so I'm hooking them up to computer speakers, so I am using an adapter to do that. No problem there, but you see we are hooked up to this controller right here. So I'm going to go to my software right here. Yes, I want to switch to the controller. And we pretty much got full control of our software through this controller. And I really do mean you have full control. You do have access to the remix decks, which if I go up here to the line, I can go to the, see, now I'm on the remix decks, and I can do this with the same with this one. If I go to D here, now I'm have the remix deck set up on that. And so we have access to remix decks and then your A channel right here with the song. So all right, one thing I want to show guys is how to tighten up how the jog wheels perform. So you could have it really light like this where it's going to just spin for a long time, or you can tighten it up by hitting the jog wheel and then, so clockwise is going to tighten it up. Now you notice this is really tight. They're barely moving. And if I want to loosen that up a little bit, I just go the other way, counterclockwise, and now you can see it's got a little bit of play, or you can make it really light right there. But I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit. I like mine to have a little bit, but not crazy. And that feels pretty good to me. And you can do that on both sides, but just hitting the jog wheel. Now, if you want the platter to spin while you're working like a normal turntable would, that's the TT button here. And now you see it's rolling. And you can see that it's rolling with that. You know, you can, in the software, you have a grid button here. You have flux and let's see, reverse. So if you're playing, so you do have a reverse. Now the platter's not going to reverse, but you do have a reverse button there. So just something to point out there. You have full FX. I'm not going to get into those really a lot. The next thing I want to kind of show you guys really quick is the microphone issue. A lot of people don't show you guys how to do this, and so I want to make a point of this real quick. So if you do have a microphone, you're going to have quarter jack, or there's an XLR in the front. So if you want to hook it to the back, you're going to be using channel C, and if you want to hook it to the front, you're going to be using channel D. So I'm going to show you a channel C right here. I'm going to hook it to the back. So I have the microphone hooked up in the back, which is channel C. And like I said, if you hooked up in the front, you're going to be on channel D. So what we have to do is we have to switch the input here. Now, if you just hit the button, it's going to go directly to line, and then we have to go to channel C here. It's going to go directly to line here. And so now you can't see it because it's kind of blocked, but it is on line right now. So it's not working right now because it's on line. You're not going to hear anything. I can turn this mic on and you're not going to hear anything. The mic is on, nothing coming out. So you do have to hit shift and then hit the button. So we want to go to this side right here, hit shift, and then hit the external button again. And now you see that the mic is on. If I hit shift and hit it again, it's going to be on the line part. But we want to go to the mic part. And now I can turn this on. You see, just by that, you can tell that it's on. Mic check, 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 check. Mic, mic, mic. Mic check, 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 check. Now I have a microphone here, so it's really cool. But that is on channel C, and like I said, you got your volumes up here, you got highs, you got your line gain here, so you want to make sure you kind of mess with this one first, and then your master volume there for your microphone. But you can see that it works, but it's taking up a channel right now. So now you could have two microphones, but then you'd be taking up two channels. You'd be taking up this channel C, and you'd be taking up channel D in the front here. You'd have to hook up your microphone here. So you can have two mics, but it's going to take up your channels, and then you only have A and B. So just something to think about there. I like having a microphone, and then I like having an extra output here. So I like having my output here, and I can hook up a tablet or something like that. And then I have an extra spare channel in case I do need to go into quick requests or something, or an emergency happens and my computer goes down. I still have a channel dedicated that I can still run music. And like I said, this will work as a standalone mixer. And that way, you know, even if I'm resetting my computer, I'm still playing music through this extra channel, which I do love. And so once again, you can see that the line light's on up here, but if I hit shift and the other button, now it's on microphone right there. And I don't have a microphone in that one, but it's on microphone. But if like I said, I hit it again, it goes to line, and now I have a line input on channel D. So a lot of people, like I said, don't like how that works, but I just wanted to point that out. So remember shift, and you can switch between those two inputs here. And same for C and D, okay? And so I didn't see a lot of information on that, so definitely I hope that helps somebody out there really quick. All right, the next thing I wanted to show you, which still makes this good for 2024, like I said, all the inputs, you still have inputs for a microphone, for an extra channel, still can run off your controller on A and B, but you do have the ability to work with the software really, really well. And so one thing that I do love about this is the ability to record mixes and the ability to take samples from songs really quick through the software. Now, you do have to kind of do it through the software, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to do, and then you can, you know, play them through the controller really easy. So I'm going to set that up, and we'll be right back. And I want to just show you in the software how easy it is to make loops. So you have to have A and B, of course, your main channels where you're getting your songs from, and then you have to have C and D in remix. Now you could just use one or the other. So if you wanted to use D as your remix decks and you had C as a microphone or something, that's fine. But you have to have at least one to be able to do this. So I just want to point out, so this is just a random song I picked. I'll turn my volumes down a little bit. All right, but at the beginning of this song, you hear it has that little, now I'm sure this is out there somewhere, but it has that little scratch sound at the beginning. I want that scratch sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to back this up here. And I'm starting about right here. and we're going to go to our loop here. So you have in and out on the loop. We're going to go in right here. We're going to go a little bit out. And I want to make sure you set your loop up here. So we don't want a 4-bar loop. We only want, we've got a 1-bar loop right there. So we can go right there. Now, if I loop that right there, let's see what we got. So say that's what we want. So now that I have that loop, I have it in and out. All I need to do is take the title of the song and drag it into a remix deck right here. Boom. Nice. Now I'm going to make sure that you have your settings open for full. And let me show you how to do that real quick, because people might ask about that. So then you go to your remix deck settings right here. Let's see, deck layouts. Yes. So you want to make sure that your remix decks are in advanced and your A and B is in full. So you can do this really good, because if you don't have it in full, you won't be able to see your looping. And then if you don't have the remix decks in advanced, you won't be able to see these extra features to be able to change your loops. So make sure that it's set to A and B full, C and D advanced. All right, so we're good there in the settings, and that's in your deck layout. So now I can click on the one that I have there, and I can switch it instead of a loop, just a quick one shot, and I switched it by just putting an arrow instead of having it a circle loop there. And then when I hit that, I have it to use whatever I want, whatever song I want too. So we'll turn the volume up a little bit, and I have this, and I can use that with whatever I want, and I can use it over D too. So you get the point, but yeah, it's really cool that you can drag things in there really fast. It's on the software, you can still use it through the controller, and it's very, very cool and not too hard to do. Now, the other thing that you can do with this is if I made a couple more here, I could record like a little sample, and it'll do the same things for me every time. And you can do that with the bar too. So let's see if I can do an example of that real quick. So, all right, everybody, so we're back at the controller, and like I said, I really quick, I didn't want to waste more time, but I just wanted to throw a couple more loops. So we still have all our loops in here that we had before. So we have that. And I can set these loops longer. But yes, I can set all these up there. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to shift all these out real quick. So then we have them all out. And then we can, make a new one. So say I want. And then you can also adjust the volumes by hitting this button here, or the bottom here, and you can adjust the volume. Say that's kind of loud. I want to adjust the volume on that one. You can add filter to it too. And then we're going to record that. So we'll go record. And so every time I hit that, it's going to do that, and I can put it in my music too. And so you can see how you could do a cool little loop, and that loop will just keep going unless you stop it. And then if you want to erase it, then you just press shift, and you kind of shift, and then it'll exit out all those. Shift. Yeah. Now they're all off since they're not highlighted anymore, and you can redo whatever you need. So that's just a quick little way to show you some of the cool things you can do on the go really fast with Traktor software. And that's Traktor Pro 3 still. Haven't even talked about Traktor Pro 4 yet, maybe in a future video, but some cool stuff you can do. Let's talk about, let's go back to the regular music here. All right, so no, I don't know if you can And this is not going to come out on camera, but I do want to point out that when I'm hitting, you can literally feel where the cue point is right here. It feels like a little bit like it's just dipping down. So I could feel the cue point on there. And so that's really cool with the haptic feedback. That I don't know if you can see that in the jog wheel either, but it just has a little tick where you can feel the haptic feedback, which is very, very cool. So I think that's another thing that keeps this controller real for 2024. The ease of use, the tons of features. You still have FX and filters and all kinds of things. So let's just break it down with my final thoughts really quick, and hopefully this has been helpful. All right, everybody, let's wrap this video up on the S4 Mk3. Final thoughts. Absolutely, I think this is still a relevant controller in 2024. It's $1,000. It's in between prices of really expensive controllers and not so expensive controllers, but for the features that you can do with it, if you like Traktor, it's fantastic. You can do so much with this, with having 2 decks, remix decks, to be able to just add samples. If you like adding samples and doing, loops and all kinds of things, man, the possibilities are endless. The way I showed you that you can take while live playing, you can take a sample from a song that you like, make it a loop and then drag it into your samples and use it while you're still live playing. Also with the record, you can take those samples and those loops, put them in some kind of order and record that, and it's going to keep looping that beat as well, which is very, very cool on the fly to be able to do that with the software and the hardware working so well. Very cool. Love the haptic feedback. Like I said, if you're a scratcher and you enjoy the way this works, with the magnetic feel, which is a different feel than you're going to feel from any other mechanical or drive type moving platter controller, or like the Rain one or all those other things. It's just a different feel. So if you like that feel, and then having that haptic feedback with the ticks on your hot cues, like beat juggling, makes it easy, man. You just feel that tick and boom, that's where it's going to take off. Circle it back to that tick and boom, that's where it goes. So it really can help you practice and do things from that perspective. So I love that haptic feedback. I love how easy it is to tighten or loosen the jog wheels on this by just hitting a button. You can tighten it up clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever. I love having the extra channels, even though one is taken up by a microphone spot if you need a microphone. But you can hook up anything to this, CDJs, record players, works standalone. Like I said, just plug it in and you can plug in things to it and you're still going to get that output. You don't need the software or the laptop. It still works as a standalone mixer. You're going to lose a lot of features from it, but the mixer section will still work standalone. Very, very cool on that. So 2024, would I still buy this if I hadn't already had it for a while? Absolutely. I love the features of it. I love the way those jog wheels feel. And it still works. Usually I'm a 2-channel controller type purchaser anyways. I'll get 2 channels and then hope that it might have some kind of auxiliary input. But other than that, this has 4 channels, so it's going to hold me with the microphone, auxiliary channel, and the 2 other ones. So very, very cool. Other than that, do I think it's pro gear? Yeah, I do. I still think it was ahead of its time when it came out, in my opinion, and it still holds up for today. And so yeah, I think it's pro gear with the inputs on the back. You got XLR outputs, still got RCA, can still plug quarter jack, 3.5 for your headphones. You got an XLR on the front as a line input, but will still work as a microphone input as well. So yeah, you do have some pro inputs. Other than that, I think that's about it. Hopefully I showed you some cool stuff that you didn't know about this controller. If I didn't, sorry, but I try to show as much cool things and questions that I had when I used this that I didn't see on videos out there. So hopefully if I'm helpful to one person out there, you guys will give me a like, subscribe, or share. And just hope you enjoyed the video. That's all I got for you on the S4 Mk3. I think it's solid. I think it's great still for 2024 if you're looking for a controller and you are a Traktor user. If it does work with any other softwares, mapping wise, let me know. It might work with virtual DJ. I'm not 100%. I did try to hook it up and it wasn't working for me, but there might be something out there that I'm missing. But let me know if it works with any other softwares out there and I will correct that in my comments. Solid has a lot of features. We went over some of them. Still has FX and stuff through the software. I didn't go into that a lot, but it does have FX and you know, all that good stuff. So it has everything you need and a lot of extras too. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If this is helpful at all, give me a like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you really soon on my next video or tutorial. Got a lot of stuff out there that I'm still gonna review, all kinds of stuff as well. So thank you. Catch you soon on my next video.